In 2013, a group of researchers from Princeton and Harvard decided to test a radical idea. They wanted to know whether poverty itself, not lack of talent, not laziness, not culture, could directly affect the way people think. So they designed a simple experiment. At a shopping mall in New Jersey, they stopped random passers-by and gave them short financial puzzles. One scenario was easy. Your car needs a $150 repair. How would you pay for it? The other was more stressful. Your car needs a $1,500 repair. What do you do? While participants tried to solve these problems, researchers quietly measured their cognitive performance, memory, focus, and reasoning speed. Then they compared results between two groups, people with comfortable incomes and people struggling financially. When faced with the small expense, both groups performed equally well. But when the cost jumped to $1,500, a life-changing amount for low-income participants, something dramatic happened. Their mental performance dropped by the equivalent of losing 13 IQ points. In other words, simply thinking about money problems made them temporarily less able to think clearly. The rich participants, meanwhile, showed no change at all. This experiment became one of the first scientific proofs of what many people living in poverty already knew: being poor consumes mental energy. It's not about lack of discipline or intelligence, it's about the brain being hijacked by survival stress. The same researchers later took this idea to the fields of rural India. They worked with sugarcane farmers, who earn most of their income only once a year, right after harvest. Before the harvest, these farmers are often deep in debt, worrying about bills and food. After harvest, they're temporarily flush with cash. The researchers tested the farmers' cognitive performance both before and after harvest. The results were astonishing. When the farmers were poor just before harvest, their mental performance was significantly worse. After harvest, when they suddenly had money again, their cognitive scores jumped back up, even though nothing else in their lives had changed. Same people. Same jobs. Same intelligence. The only difference was money in their pockets, and the freedom that came with it. This pattern repeats itself across countless studies and real-world examples. When people face constant scarcity of money, time, or security, their mental resources shrink. They become less able to plan ahead, less willing to take risks, and more likely to make short-term choices, not because they want to, but because they must. Imagine trying to focus on a long-term goal like starting a business or learning a skill when you don't know if your family will eat tomorrow. It's not a matter of priorities, it's a matter of survival. And yet, most anti-poverty programs ignore this reality. They assume poor people need more information, training, or motivation. But these studies suggest something far deeper. When your mind is constantly overloaded by scarcity, you don't need lectures, you need breathing room. This insight became the foundation for a new way of thinking about poverty, one that no longer blames individuals for their circumstances, but examines how their environments shape their decisions. It challenged decades of economic theory and changed how policymakers around the world began to design aid programs. Because if poverty drains mental bandwidth, then the first step toward escaping it isn't just opportunity, it's relief.